when last we left the group in the Lost City, you had all spoken to some of the leadership, in particular, the leader of the maidens didn't, since there were no women among you, no female warriors or magicians, she did not have any use for the three of you. Wishes you well, but isn't going to, isn't that interested in you at all. The other two groups who so she was the head of the warrior maidens of Madarua. The other two groups who are the Magi of Usami Garas. Should probably actually write that in the channel. And the Brotherhood of Gorm. The Usami Garas are the magicians, the Brotherhood of Gorm are warriors, and the warrior maidens of Madarura. Well, they're warrior priests is what they are. And then the warrior maidens are female warriors. Come on. Okay. So they have not healed you, but they did let you rest another night. And they, in essence, they said, you've come into our city, we've given you hospitality. If you want to continue to stay here, you sort of have to prove yourselves to them. Night's rest, and that gives you back another hit point if you're down any.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right.
Almost at full strength. Wake up feeling somewhat more refreshed.
Yeah, Roland's back to full. Feels good.
And I would during the rest I can memorize a spell.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the best one, even though it failed me previously, I think the best one may be that Charm Person spell.
All right. So you're going to memorize Charm Person.
Yes.
Love it.
So you wake up, and you've been in this city for a little over 2 days now, but it's hard to tell for you. You're sort of the way I sort of explain it to people is that convention feeling. You go to a convention that you don't leave the hotel at all. You're just in the convention space, and you're going to your room. You're in the convention space, and you're going to your room. You sort of lose track of what time it really is. Right? Are we playing late? Are we playing early? We don't know. What is this game? I have no idea. What day is it? So your sense of time and day and night is off a bit. Okay. And they take you, two members of the Brotherhood of Gorm, take you to a set of stairs. And the stairs are through some doors in what is considered to be their territory. And so essentially they put you in front of a doorway and say, that's the way down. Good luck. And
God.
What you take is yours. And make Gorm go with you.
Okay, Roland is like, wait, what's... It's like, wait, but what's down there? What's down there?
They smile and they walk away.
Oh God! All right. Yeah, Roland is terrified and unhappy. And he's like, "Do we have to? Is there anything we can do besides going down this? I don't know."
Well, they've walked away, so.
Oh yeah, he's saying this to the other two.
Yeah.
But then he kind of probably just shuts up because it's like, no, there really isn't.
But Bartle, I'll say I've been thinking the same thing. I'm worried that if we were if we want to, I don't think it's feasible for us to stay in the city or stay down here without their goodwill. And I don't think we're ready to face the desert again.
Right.
Without more supplies and more, without more supplies. So I don't know that we have much of a choice. So, Roland, you go first.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Roland is just like, he probably says "fuck it" or whatever the equivalent that these people would say would be, and just pushes through the. You said there were doors, right? He pushes.
Yep, there's a door.
He pushes the door open.
Okay. Door opens, and before you is an unlit staircase that goes down. Is anybody who has a light source?
I have a lantern, so I guess because I'm going first, I am popping on my lantern. And I guess I should say I did have a flask of oil that was in my helmet that I had a while ago. And so I'm just going to assume that I've used up my previous lantern flask over the past couple days. So I'm going to kind of, say my helmet is now greasy, but there's not that oil in it anymore, and I've loaded that oil into the lantern. And that is the last. This is the last like oil. I don't know, ammo that I have, or I don't know how to say it.
I have 4 more flasks, just so.
Oh, amazing! Okay, yes, but so I put that into my lantern.
Well, and while they're lighting this up, I mean, can Shishu, who is an elf, look down there to see if he spies anything without the light?
Absolutely. It goes down. Let's see. All right, it goes down 20 feet and curves around. So it's actually more of a switchback. So it goes down 20 feet and then turns.
The lantern, comes on or whatever, and there's some light. Does this look like a cavern type thing where it's, all twisty and unfinished, or is it like, nice?
Oh, it's for sure. It is nice worked stone.
Okay.
It's a bit of a interesting climb because the stone is a little bit dusty, but otherwise, perfectly worked stone.
Okay. Guess Roland is gonna start walking.
Okay. You get down 20 feet, and it switches back on itself, and at the further down, you see another door.
Bartle's right behind him.
Yeah, I think Roland kind of like looks at Bartle and says, like, "You open this one."
Okay, that's fair enough. So I'll go down and take a look at the door. It's probably trapped. Some type of terrible door here.
Yeah. The one thing though is it doesn't strike me that the brothers of Gorm would say, oh, they've kind of given us a little hospitality to kind of just release us into a trap. Doesn't
unless it's like a test.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think they're trying to trap. Yeah, I would say that Bartle isn't thinking. I can even say to you, like, know that. Yeah, I'll just say like I think it might be a test. My character will actually say that.
Mhm.
I'm worried they think this is a test. Like if they want us to prove ourselves, like um so I'm gonna just take a look. I'm mainly interested to see if there's like the other, kind of any of the, because we've seen a couple of the in this complex, a couple of the door trap type situations already. So I just kind of want to, see if I get a sense if there's something similar on this door, and if not, I'll open it. I'm not gonna.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d6 for me.
A 5.
You don't seem to find anything, and nothing nothing immediately stands out. You found a secret door in a wall. You've looked in, and Roland is about to step into this.
Yes. Yeah. He's walking in, got the shield and sword kind of up. And he's got his helmet on too.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you step into the room, you do hear like something digging into a wooden box.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Right. How close is it to Roland? Because he's instantly like, like this and is like, fuck, and is kind of walking back a bit,
Somewhere within maybe like 10, 15 feet.
Okay.
And when you sort of step back a little bit, you hear it stops suddenly.
Oh my god, yeah. Okay.
And then you kind of hear when you sort of back up a little bit, it's about 3 feet. Yeah. So another beetle, similar to but not the same as the ones you fought, sort of like comes over the top of of one of the boxes, and they don't have intent. You just have intent. So I guess it's like pictured or just like sort of like that.
Right. Okay.
Some beetles have antennas. Sean will have to look that up. So it's sort of looking in your direction, and then you see another one as well.
Yeah.
Are they glowing?
They are not glowing.
Okay.
So you see two total? Sorry.
You see 2, but you hear more.
I hear more.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
We could back out the door and slam it shut. This is the only way right. The corridor continues on, right? I mean, we can.
Yeah.
Sure does.
It's true.
Yep.
But these casks, like, are any of them open? Like, because Roland is, backing out, but he's also like, is there something nice in?
There's nothing open, but there's one right there where the door opens. There's one right there.
Okay, this is what I picture Roland doing as we're backing out. Backing out and then trying to drag that one by the door out so we can kind of look and see, is there a bunch of treasure and shit in here so we can go back and...
Okay.
Yeah.
You start doing that out. One of the beetles spits something in your direction.
Okay.
But it splats against the door.
Okay.
Or it splats against the wall behind you. It doesn't hit anybody. Do you all want to close the door? Do you want to keep the door open? You have the cask now.
Okay, I am picturing that Roland is out last because he's dragging this cask, and he's kind of the farthest, and so he is slamming the door, or whatever, closing the door behind us.
Yeah, I would not have passed Roland.
Okay.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm kind of crouching behind you.
The wall. You hear the close, and you do hear on the wood door, on the stone wall.
Yeah.
But it's very faint. Oh, by the way, beetles do have antennae for those watching at home. I had to Google that. So you hear a little bit of scuttling on the wall, but it goes away after about a minute. They get, they're bored. worked out.
Okay.
Are you going to open up the cask?
Mm-hmm.
You open it up, and it opens fairly easily. Smell, it sort of has a let me check something. Okay. Okay, so it smells alcoholic and a little mushroomy. Not a bad way. Not a bad way. But it smells. It's got a strange, other however mushrooms smell. So it's probably very faint. But it also smells of alcohol.
Okay.
And like, how much does this weigh? I mean, can we carry it, or is it a?
Yeah, someone could probably carry it. Yeah, so it's a cask. Yeah, somebody could carry it with them. It's not a full keg. So, so yes, you could carry this with you. Does anybody taste the wine? Oh, there. Does anybody taste the liquid? That's just GM.
Roland is definitely not. Like,
yeah, probably not.
Okay.
He's probably thinking. Bartle's probably thinking of it. I mean, he is thinking of it, but he's gonna stop. We can. Yeah, I mean, I think if it's too heavy, we could even like kind of leave it here for us to come on our way back, possibly.
It's a little cumbersome. It's not heavy, but it's a little cumbersome. So you certainly could put it in a corner nearby or something like that.
Although it might be good to. Although you never know when you need refreshments, run into people, want to share. So. I don't know.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll defer to Roland since he risked his.
Yeah, Roland's not taking it. Roland's like, you carry it. Because I just feel like Roland is fucking carrying so much. He's got a sword, he's got a shield, he's got a lantern. Like, Jesus. Yeah, so you can do with it what you will. I think Roland's pretty bummed that it's not. He didn't open it. It was like glimmering gems or something. So
that's right. I think now that we talk about it, Bartle is gonna actually he'll carry it. I'll figure out a way to kind of carry it with him.
Okay,
cool.
That's good.
Whether it's like slung in his, kind of like got put in his backpack and kind of put stuff around it to kind of keep it safe.
Right.
Okay, you can do that. All right. So just to reiterate, you came out of the door and it goes down 40 feet. 40 feet. Then it goes to your left, 60 feet, and 20 feet down that corridor, there's a secret door. And at the end of the 60 feet, it turns left again. So it's essentially making a U.
Yeah, Roland is leading onward, once we get the cask figured out.
You get down to the end, and the hallway turns again, and it goes up. It's about another 60 feet and ends in a door.
God, okay, wow. Yeah, so I guess we're approaching the door.
Head down to the door, yeah.
You get to the door. It looks normal, like the other door, like the door from the stairs did.
Roland's hands are full, so he can't twist doorknobs right now. He's just kind of looking expectantly, because he's still got the sword out and the shield. I think he's a little rattled.
So I'll sling my crossbow and I'll take a look at the door and, again, looking for just kind of any of the types of kind of his basic once-over for obvious traps.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d6.
Oh, 1.
Okay. You give this door a thorough going over, and you don't find anything of note.
I'm very confident that this door is not trapped.
Mm.
So I will kind of check to see if everyone's ready, and we'll open this door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So you open the door, and inside, the corridor goes for another about another 50 feet, actually. But inside are a bunch of other doors as well.
Mm.
Let me see if I can find a description for this one. It's a large passage. On the wall, inside each end of the passage, is a row of 8 buttons, and they match buttons on the halls. So there's a row of 8 buttons that you appear to be able to press, and the passage feels a little weird when you walk into it. There is a door on the other side, and let me go ahead and I'll upload the what the symbols look like. They also give you cardinal directions, as you'll see, and that's okay. That's not really. But you see all 8 of those symbols. So if you're not really sure what direction you're headed, it doesn't matter if.
So the buttons are the buttons, are they all together, like near where we are, or are the buttons like next to the doors?
Yes.
Or
On the wall inside each end of the passage is a row of 8 buttons. So yes, there's a set of buttons right there as you walk in. Mm-hmm. They're on the wall. They're not on the door itself. So this is a very 50-foot corridor. There are buttons on this side, and you peer down to the other side, and you can sort of see that there are buttons on the other end as well.
And there's no doors on the side of the corridor, so it's just the 2 doors, so 50 feet. Okay. I think.
So yeah, at the other end there is another door. You could just walk straight if you want. You can press a button if you want. You could also flee into the desert, I guess.
I think that Roland kind of turns to Shishush and says, like, yeah, what do you make of these buttons? Are they some sort of like, oh, it just sounds so goofy for him to say, are they some sort of magic? But it's like, I feel like he would.
Yeah,
no, that's good.
This writing that is on there. Do I recognize that? Does that look at all familiar to me?
What languages does Shishu speak again?
Let's see. I put them down. Did I have them? Swaben, dwarf, giant, goblin, kobold, and then
oh my god,
chaotic, good, elf, and common.
Okay, so there's a little bit of Sidician in the Swaben that you've noticed before at times. So you don't exactly know what they mean, but you do kind of get a gist that this is something you've seen before, and that it is basically symbols for the cardinal directions. That's how you get that much.
Mm-hmm. I don't. You asked me about, what this means.
Mhm.
Cardinal directions. You know, there may be something magical here, but I don't know that magic is the type of thing where I just kind of randomly would want to, push a bunch of buttons to see.
Mm.
That's kind of like gambling a bit. I mean, at the very least,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we should at least check that other door just to see
Yeah.
what's on the other side.
Yeah, let's check the door before we do anything else.
Okay.
And then,
You walk down to the other door, and it looks very much like the door that you left. You can definitely see that now that you sort of know what you're looking for, that this part of the hallway is on, like there are grooves there. You can see that the hallway might even be able to turn, although you can't see any mechanism for that. But you do see grooves along the wall.
Okay. Hmm.
It's times like
the
this
way.
that I would like to have a dwarf among us. Seems like
Yeah.
something that a dwarf would.
yeah.
So it seems like the wall might be able to turn?
Yeah.
Oh, like if you click the buttons, like the wall might turn or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am wondering, whether you click a button and
Right.
it rotates around.
Yeah. Is she saying that, or is that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he would kind of be speculating out loud that
Mhm.
that it may not be magical at all. It may just be some kind of mechanical, um, thing. Now why they wouldn't just do something a little bit simpler, like just have a bunch of doors radiating out from. I don't know, but
Yeah. Hmm. I really don't think Roland would advise pressing a button randomly. I as a
Yeah.
player am like wanting to just do that because I feel like
Well-
then we know, but I don't think Roland would do that.
No, I think Bartle would think like, well, let's see what's go behind the door before we push a
Right.
button, and then get a sense of like before we confuse ourselves. And then we'll at least have some way to go about it a little more systematically if we need to.
Hmm.
Okay, sounds good. Are you going to open the door then?
Yeah, I think kind of unless they kind of physically restrain Bartle from doing that, he'll kind of pop open the door.
The door opens up, and with the lantern, or with Shishush's sight, you see a corridor that runs about 80 feet down, and then T-junctions. Hook 'em horns, whatever.
Mm.
Go Texas!
Okay. Okay. So I'll kind of check with you guys and see if we want to keep going, but I'll start to creep down. But I won't get outside of the lantern,
Mhm.
the light the lantern is shedding, but I'll take the lead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. Roland will follow.
And we'll kind of get down to the end of the T, and we'll kind of try to take a look down both ways to see if anything shows up.
Okay, so you look down both sides with the lantern or with sight. You to your To your left, it goes 50 feet, and to your right, it goes 40 feet.
And then what, bends at that point, or?
Yeah, they both turn. So if you go right, it turns to your right. If you go left, it turns to your left.
Wow. Yeah, I think Roland's like, this place is a maze. You know, we better be careful to not get lost. And probably make some kind of marking on the wall, you know?
Yeah.
Like just to indicate whichever direction we end up no, to indicate where we came from in some way. So maybe it just, yeah, I guess using his sword, which, yeah, he kind of, or maybe like the butt of his sword, you know, it might be made of metal and that could scrape along the stone, kind of draw an arrow back towards where we came from on the wall, if that'll work.
Yeah, or you can just take your dagger out and make a.
Right, I have my dagger, yes, so he uses that. Actually, I don't think I do have a dagger. Just got my sword. So yeah, he does that with his sword.
Okay. All right. So do you want to go left or right?
You said the right was 50 feet?
Yeah. Or the right is 40 feet and the left is 50 feet. Yeah.
Right it is.
All right.
Okay.
Right is always better luck, right?
You walk 40 feet and it turns, and 10 feet further down is another door.
Yeah, this door Roland is approaching almost in like desperation, like let's get to the end of, you know, where we're going. And so he's not really checking for traps, not being very careful, and he's just opening it.
Okay. The room looks like a ruined chapel and has been looted and deliberately wrecked. The stone altar has been smashed, and no ceremonial equipment can be seen. The word Zargon has been scrawled on one wall in large letters.
Shishu's looking around. Can I tell, like, does this look like a chapel to Gorm, or do I notice any sign that would kind of indicate to me what little I know of the, you know, the lost city and the people that we've met, like who this chapel would have been to?
This chapel appears to be a sort of pantheonic chapel. So any member of the pantheon could come here and worship if they wished. So there would be, I would say there would be on the ruined pieces of the altar and maybe on the wall, and maybe that's where they wrote the word Zargon. There would be images of each member of the pantheon.
And does Zargon mean anything to Shishush? I mean, is that a name that...
No. Nothing that comes to mind.
What is Zargon written in? Like, is it, cause I think, you know, it's like stuff left by other people. And so Roland is like walking over to it and looking at it to see, is this fresh, you know?
You don't think so? This has been here for a long time.
Okay.
And judging by the dust, the Citizens don't come here very often. The people in the city don't come here at all, apparently. And it's written in what would be described as common, but common from a few years ago, or a couple hundred years ago.
And no other door out of this room?
Not that you see. But Shishush does notice that at the okay, so the wall. Let me describe the room a bit. It's so 30 feet across, so 30 feet this way. It's 40 feet that way. And as you're in here looking around, Shishush notices something funny about the floor down there at the end of the room.
Yeah, Shishush would point that out to the others, that there seems to be something strange about the floor down there. I think Shishush would approach that to kind of get a kind of closer look. I mean, does it seem like it's a trap door or?
Yes and no. If you had know what to look for, you might have accidentally stepped on it, but you don't get the impression that it's meant to be a trap. It looks like the floor itself is hinged, and if you sort of tap it a little bit, it goes down a little bit. Although I probably should let you guys do that. But yeah, it does. It looks hinged, and you get the impression that you could step on it and it would move. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
I guess Roland is still probably overlooking at the Zargon thing and kind of thinking about that while Shishush is looking at this.
How big is the section of this that's hinged?
So this section is about 20 feet.
Whoa.
So basically runs from the corner of the wall over there for about 20 feet. So 2/3 of the room at the bottom.
Okay.
2/3 the width of the room, I guess.
And it looks like if weight is placed, like if I take out my pole and kind of start poking at it, that weight makes it move if you're stepping on one side, or?
Correct. Yep. If you step onto it, if you push onto it, it sort of goes down. And not in a trap kind of way, but just as a sort of purposely built opening in the floor. So.
Does the room have any? Yeah, I mean, it's been looted and stuff, but I mean, and kind of, desecrated or something. Are there any heavy objects, debris, or anything?
The stone altar has been smashed, so there are pieces of stone altar you can pick up.
We could try putting some of these heavy pieces on that and
I'll
watch what happens.
I mean, Bartle's up for helping Shishush move some of the, kind of move something heavy to the side of it, or to the.
Okay. So
yeah, Roland can help too.
It doesn't really take much. And it goes down, and so the piece of stone sort of slides down towards the bottom.
How, so is it like sliding like this, or is it like just going down? If that makes sense.
But no, it slides down at an angle.
Okay.
So basically, when you put the stone on it, the floor hinges down like this, and it goes down to the next level.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And what you can see from here is basically just another stone room. You can't see a lot of it down there.
And does it make like a ramp so that you could kind of safely get down?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Before we leave this room, you said that the name Zargon, was it what was it written with? I mean, did you say it was just chiseled in, or was there?
It was probably some sort of paint or maybe blood, but it's hard to tell. It's so old.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not chiseled in, no. But it was sort of painted over.
Yeah, I think Roland's like this place is, different from everywhere we've been. Like it feels like truly abandoned, where the other places we've been have felt pretty like, like recently, I don't know like how to say it right now, but like, recently habited or something. And he's like, I don't know if we should, like, I think we should be really careful about going down there.
That's good point.
There is the other passageway we could back out and
see what else offers. Yeah.
But Roland is also interested. Like, I feel like he's like also like, but I don't know. What if there's, something actually untouched down there.
Yep. I mean, if there is some, I mean, I guess that's something to think about. If there's more likelihood to be worthwhile things like the farther we go from well-traveled pathways.
Yeah.
But it's all. I mean, it also makes sense to kind of double, go check out that other corridor just to see what else is here before we kind of go farther down. Also makes sense. To kind of get a full sense of the lay of the land here. I don't know. That's not helpful, but
yeah, I think I just don't want my, suddenly I don't want my guy to die.
That's hard. Well, I think Bartle's been thinking. So Bartle's thinking during this that he's got his iron spikes. He's actually. I'm actually looking for places if it's possible to spike this piece of the floor so that it stays down if we want it to. You can kind of rig it so that it doesn't kind of pop back up if
it's a shallow enough angle that stone didn't slide all the way off. So currently it's being held with that piece of stone altar you put on it.
Okay. So that's good. Okay. So he kind of will kind of make sure that's kind of solidly kind of keeping it in place.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, really quickly, I think Shishush, he suspects that Zargon may be some maybe evil god or something like this. I think Shishush is gonna take out I have a flask of holy water. I think he's not gonna expend the whole flask, but I think he's gonna like take out a flask, pour just a little bit of the holy water in his hand and wipe it over the name Zargon.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's no smoke or effects or anything like that. But you do get a feeling of sort of get a mixed sort of feeling, almost at one point approval for trying to sort of wipe away the name, but then there's this other sort of dark, angry sort of cloud feeling as well. That sort of says, "I see you. I see you now," kind of thing. So it's all very quickly passes in the moment. So that's what sort of happens when you do that.
Yeah, I mean, Shishush would kind of say, I really sense that this place, what was the site of some type of kind of divine conflict, and there's still kind of bad feelings here.
Yeah, I think so. Is the slope like? Would it be easy if you were down there and had to run out? Would it be easy to run back up this slope, or is it like steep enough that you might slip or something?
No, assuming the wood holds. Yeah, you could easily run back up.
Okay, I think Roland says, "I must know what's down there," and starts to walk down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be. But Bartle was close to doing that anyway, so I'll follow right along.
I think Shishush will take up the rear guard.
Okay. Painted on the walls of this room are court scenes showing a king and queen being entertained by a dwarven jester. A small coffin rests in a niche in the east wall, and each corner of the room is a large brass jar. So the room itself is. The room itself is 30 by 30 in what you think is the north wall. So up is a door sort of in the middle of the wall. And basically, as you come down the ramp and you look up, you see the small coffin sitting in the niche in the wall. And then there are brass jars in all four corners.
And this room does not look looted, it seems.
It does not appear to be looted. No, everything appears to be intact.
Okay, that's scary. Yeah, I think Roland says something like, "Why loot? Why ruin and loot the room above and not this?"
Yeah.
Do the brass jars seem to have lids on them, or from where we are, does it seem like they're?
Yes, they appear to have lids on them.
And the coffin, roughly how long is the coffin?
So about 5 feet. So yeah, about 5 feet. It's a sort of the thing that you might bury a dwarf in. It's good sized.
Oh my god. Oh.
And the mural was of a dwarven jester performing in front of a king and queen.
Yeah.
King and queen. Yeah.
And the king and queen look human, or do they look dwarven as well?
Yes, they look human.
Okay.
It's much more of a think of it more of a sarcophagus, really. They use the word coffin, but it's much more in the style of a sarcophagus.
So is there like a face on it and stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Is it like how is it decorated? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a very vaguely decorated with with clothes. It's so there might be some. It's brass maybe on top, not gold.
Okay.
There's may have been some painted sort of checkerboard or patchwork clothing or burial clothes on top, showing, and the individual is laying there with their eyes open, and the individual definitely has a beard.
Okay. And this is all like painted on the top of it. Okay.
And then we have this. You said there's a door also going out.
Correct. So to the what you think is the north, as you're starting to get your bearings down here, you think to the north, there's a door in the middle of the wall, north wall.
Hmm.
Does this room have any signs of, like, is it all dusty? Does it seem like it's been abandoned?
It does not. It does not appear to have been disturbed recently, but it's not as dusty as the room above.
Hmm.
Well, do you think we should at least peek through that other door to see? I am curious about the jars. I'm curious about the sarcophagus.
Yeah, I think Roland's like, I can't stand this waiting, and he's like, and he like goes up to the sarcophagus and just fucking pushes the lid off.
Okay.
He's got like that terror in his eyes, you know.
When you do that, basically when you go up, you just place your hands on it, the lid of the coffin springs off.
Oh Jesus!
And there's a wooden something, like a wooden head, pops out.
Okay.
It's painted in bright colors.
Nice.
And it's on a spring, so it's sort of like.
Oh my God. Okay. I think Roland. I mean, I'm picturing this that he shrieks and might drop his lantern. I mean, just being honest, if what I have in my head, like, yeah.
You hear it clang. It doesn't break or anything, but yeah, it's
okay.
And I'll kind of be covering it with my crossbow, but I'll see that it's, if I can make out that it's just wood, and I'll keep calm enough not to fire. I'm on edge from that.
That's funny because it's a jester.
Mm-hmm. The head's still going, but
I think Roland just like makes this really like angry, frustrated grunt and like slashes at the head.
Yeah.
You know, just in like not like a a immensely strong slash, but like just like a maybe with the flat of his sword, just kind of smack it.
Right, it goes back. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
It's like taunting you.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. Well, he's picking his lantern back up, and so there's nothing else in the coffin, just this head.
Yeah, you look around the coffin and you don't see anything. You look around the coffin, you don't see anything in particular.
Okay.
But Shishush does notice that there is maybe something under the sarcophagus.
Okay.
If you guys would.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, can we detach? Like, the head is on a spring.
Mm-hmm.
Can we detach? Can I manipulate that to detach the spring?
It would be difficult to do that. But for the thief could give an open locks that might detach it.
Oh, sure. I'll try. I'll give that a try.
Interesting.
While keeping it intact. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give that a try.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your percentile.
My percentiles, I see. 24. I don't think that.
Almost. You almost have it, and it's maddening. It's really well made, and you can't quite get it off. You could, if you guys bashed it a bit, you could pull it off.
It's got me. I tried, but it's beyond my. It's beyond what I can do.
You do think you could reset it though, if you wanted to. You could put the lid back on and you press it down, there'll be a click.
Mm-hmm. And you said the sarcophagus seems like it moves, or that there's something underneath.
Yeah, it's so there's the niche in the wall, the sarcophagus is sitting in it, and it almost like if you there's like a little pocket or something under there. It's hard to tell without moving it, but yeah.
Well, should we try to move it to see what's underneath there? I'll point out what I'm kind of detecting.
Roland's definitely being a little quiet, kind
of. All of you, if you work together, you think you can move the sarcophagus enough? You won't have to roll or anything.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah, Roland will do it if Shishu tells him to.
Yeah. Bartle, do you wanna see if you kind of detect anything possibly dangerous about the?
Yeah, take a look. 1d6. So.
Yep. Yeah. 1d6.
2. So.
Yep. You don't detect anything unusual, but you feel like Shishush is right. There's something. There's like a space beneath the sarcophagus.
Oh. All right. Yeah. Let's move this thing.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. You move it, and you find 4 gold pieces.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, just like in a little. Is there like a little trough or something, or?
Basically, it's a hole not quite as square or rectangular hole, not as hollow. Basically, that's not quite as big as the sarcophagus itself. So the sarcophagus basically hides it. Yeah. So, but yeah, just 4 gold coins sitting there in the bottom.
I mean, are these coins of some mint that we've seen before, like up at the?
Actually, these 2 of them are sort of older pieces of gold coins. But the other 2 both appear to be relatively new. Maybe even Swabian gold coins.
Okay. I think Shishush will he's not going to touch the jar, but he'll walk up closer to one of those jars to give it a close look.
Okay. You feel there's something weird about them, but you're not quite sure what. You take the lid off, you look at it, it looks normal. But something about them is, there's something weird about them. You're not sure what.
Oh, if no one's taking the gold, Roland's gonna grab it, pocket
it. Yeah, well, Shishush will say, I don't know if it's just coincidence, but we have 4. There are 4 jars, right? We've got these 4 coins.
Oh yeah,
right, which are like now in Roland's hand, and he's like, yeah.
I was wondering like if there would be like in the jars some clear like indication of like deposit of a coin in it, but still, I mean, possibly a connection there.
Yeah, Roland's like, shall I put one in one?
It doesn't seem like that would hurt anything, just to see what happens.
Give it a try.
All right. So yeah, Roland is kind of walking over and taking the lid off the pot, and if he doesn't get another kind of head coming out at him, he's just gonna pop the gold coin in it.
No head popping out. Do you close the lid or close the jar?
Well, I guess he probably looks in to see is it just the inside of a jar inside of the jar?
Just the inside of a jar.
Yeah, then he closes it.
Okay. And you all hear a slight audible from the hollow. Like a very small, like something dropped into the hollow.
Okay, Shishu should go over and look at the hollow.
There's a gold coin in the hollow.
And does it look like the same coin?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Huh. Okay. What's the brass jar on? Is it like sitting on the ground? I don't know why I was picturing it on a pillar. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not on a pillar. They're just all sitting. They're about 2 foot high brass jars sitting in each corner on the floor.
Okay, yeah. Roland picks up whatever one that just did you put it in, and is like, he's like picking it up to look under it, see what the hell, how the coin went.
It doesn't appear to be any mechanisms that you can see or anything like that.
Okay.
Maybe just
some enchantment.
Yeah, some enchantment, some kind of jester's trick.
Yeah, Shishu sort of gets the idea that, oh yeah, this is definitely some kind of magic going on here.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'll go to one of the other ones. Like I'll go to the one in the opposite corner. I want to take one of my gold pieces, which I think I have.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Same thing.
Okay.
Huh.
It doesn't specify, but I'm basically going to say it's when you put the lid on it, that's when that's when the magic happens.
Okay, so we can't actually see it. Yeah,
right.
That makes sense.
Huh.
Okay. Huh. But we can take these jars with us.
Um.
Are they like built in?
2 foot.
They're not built into the floor, so yes, you could, in theory, take them with you.
Interesting.
Okay.
If I put it in if I take one of the jars and put it in the center of the room and then put a coin in, does it still do the same thing?
It does. Yes.
Well, then I guess the other question I have is if we remove it from the room, maybe we go through that door, take one of them, and see if it works outside the room as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the next step. This could be kind of interesting. This could be kind of useful.
Yeah. And I think Roland's gonna try it with some other thing, maybe just a handful of a rock or something that's on the ground, whatever. See if it'll do that too.
So the door looks like a normal door, as far as you can tell. Who is going to go out the door first?
I think Roland is just at this point of terror and horror at being in this massive underground complex, so he's just going to the door. I think though, because of the thing thrown in his face last time, he's gonna check it for traps.
Okay.
So I guess I can roll my d6 and get a 1. It's a real 1.
You don't find anything.
Okay.
As far as you can tell.
All right. So Roland is pushing the door open, yeah.
Okay. So there's a corridor to nothing. So if you're looking north, there's nothing east. It's just a wall. If it goes west, it goes down easily beyond as far as you can see. So at least 60 feet. About 60 feet down, the corridor turns north again, but it also keeps going west.
How heavy and big are these jars? Like, could we take a jar with us?
Trying to think. I say it's probably as heavy as a brass, but so maybe like it's probably milk jug heavy, a full jug of milk heavy.
Mm-hmm.
It's bigger than that, but it's obviously well made and things like that. So basically, it's heavy as a milk jug, but a couple pounds. So.
And I think Shishush will take one of them just outside the door and try the trick and see if it works. If there's something outside the room that then gets transported into the room.
Yep. You drop a coin or a rock or whatever outside the room, and it transports it back to the hollow.
Hmm.
A useful. This might be a useful trick to have at our disposal.
Mm. Yeah, we could transport a lot of stuff with this.
Too bad they're not big enough for to put those beetles in. We could cram those beetles in.
Yes, it is. It is not. Beetles are too big. Beetles are a little too big. Put it there.
Huh.
Oh, don't forget as well the glands you took from the other beetles.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Are still glowing.
They're still glowing. Okay, because I had actually removed those because I thought that.
Yeah.
But I remember how many I had. So I have my 9 bug glands. So actually, then I probably am not even using the lantern.
Well, the lantern does give you some better light than the glands.
Oh, okay. So then I am using that. So when do the bug glands stop glowing? Are they kind of
dimmed a little bit?
Okay. All right. So who is someone carrying the jar with us?
Yeah, anybody could put a jar in the pack if they wanted to.
Should we try to take maybe a couple of them?
I'll take a jar if I have room.
You're probably getting a little bit full, but yeah, you have room for a jar.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Roland could definitely put a jar in his backpack if he wanted to.
All right. He will.
I also have an idea of how we could get beetles or other things in those jars. I would need to learn another spell, but I have an enlarge spell, and I could enlarge the jar, make it big enough to get something.
Oh my god!
But unfortunately, that's not my memorized spell at this point.
Oh my god! We all go to sleep right now. So you can...
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
At this point, you've been moving around for about an hour.
Okay.
Okay.
Not tired yet, unfortunately. So what directions? I should have written it down, but what directions are there? I remember there was I actually don't remember.
There's outside the room is a hallway that goes west into the darkness.
Okay.
And about 60 feet down, you see that there's a hallway that turns north.
Okay. Right, and it keeps, so there's a branch, so it keeps going west, right? And then there's a
okay.
Yeah, so I guess once we've, figured out the jar situation, I assume we're gonna Roland will at least start walking that down towards that way. So is this area that we're in now? It is the masonry on the walls or whatever you'd call it, stonework. Yeah. Is it different than? Is this a more ancient area of the place or something? Maybe I don't know if really Roland would be attentive to it, but maybe one of the other characters might be.
No, it looks old. It doesn't look older.
Okay.
It does look. maybe less traveled than before, but it does not look different. It all very much is in line with what you've seen in the city so far.
Okay.
Yeah, I do want to be cognizant of time. I mean, I'm fine to continue on, but it is a little after 11 now. I don't know how the others are.
Yes, we could go a little bit further if you all want. There's some feel, depending on how you go. Okay. All right, so you walk about 60 feet down. You see that the hallway continues at least another 60 feet. It may turn south further up, but you could definitely, when you look up the hallway to the north, to your right, there's a T section and a door.
Okay.
So we have that door, but then it also branches off in front of by the door.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Huh.
Strange city this is.
Yeah, Roland definitely is like nodding. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, imagine the labor, imagine the amount of work to carve out these tunnels and then to abandon them like this. I guess they didn't really abandon it like on purpose. He probably wouldn't say that, but yeah.
It's all still very mysterious.
Yeah.
I think are we gonna try to head for that door? Check out the.
Before we do that, I don't want this to sound comedic. It's not supposed to be some sort of like slapstick funny thing, but I think Roland does say, I want some of that, whatever that mushroom alcohol thing is.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, if we're going to go deeper, I need to drink something that is going to, yeah.
I brought it along for a reason. So I'll kind of, so Bartle will be happy to kind of get that out of his bag, and he'll partake in it with Roland.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so I picture us kind of sitting like kind of on the ground with the lantern between us, drinking some of this.
Okay.
Hesitantly, but yeah, definitely.
It tastes good. It's still good wine. It's definitely wine. It definitely tastes. Well, I mean, if you like mushrooms, it tastes good.
Right.
I'm not sure. I've never had mushroom wine, so I can't say exactly how it tastes different than grapes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But both of you give me a saving throw versus poison.
Perfect.
Oh shit. Okay. Let me. Gotta get my online roller.
20. Nice.
5.
Okay. So Bartle was like, "Oh, this is good stuff. I like it." And Roland, it hits Roland pretty hard.
Okay.
Right. So you feel all flushed and you got a little bit of a buzz. You're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. You
All right.
you don't keel over dead. But yeah, you definitely this stuff really hits you hard. So
Okay.
you're feeling a little flushed, maybe a little bit more courageous. You're not sure.
Yeah. I think this is what Roland was looking for, and he's like, he doesn't like get up and go, let's fucking get going or something, but like he does, have a little bit more kind of that confidence. And maybe his eyes are a little glazed over, but he's like, all right, let's go see what's happening here.
They are a little glazed over.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're also not as you feel a little more. You feel a little less stressed, I should say.
Yes. Yeah.
Take the edge off.
Yeah.
And I think Roland's like, that's I thank you. I needed that. And is like, let's see what's behind that door.
Yeah.
All right. So you get up to the door. You can tell the hallway goes It goes west for about 30 feet and then turns north. It goes east about 20 feet, turns north, but continues east as well.
Okay.
And of course, there's a door right in front of you.
The door.
And on the door is like a relief of a appears to be a individual in sort of a plate style armor, but sort of Bronze Age plate, not medieval plate armor.
Okay. I think, Roland's a little drunk. He's not going like nuts or anything, but he probably is, him drinking was about him getting courage to open that door, so he's probably opening it up.
Yeah.
Without much thought. Unless other people are like, hey, wait, maybe let's look at, check it out, then he's going to open it up.
Okay. Roland opens the door. A mummified human in plate armor and holding a halberd stands at attention against the west side of the south wall. So basically, you open the door, and right here, as you look in, there's a mummified human in armor.
Holy shit. Okay.
Grouped around the mummy are 9 skeletons holding swords, also at attention. And as you open the door and look in at the mummy, one of the skeletons, which is like looking straight ahead, just its head in a very Ray Harryhausen way, just sort of turns towards you.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's where we're ending things for tonight.
Oh my god.
9 skeletons and a mummy. Okay. Sounds pretty good.
That's crazy. They might just massacre us.
We gotta shut that door.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
shut the door and get some.
I got
wedges
my
to
spikes
run.
out.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay. So, yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh my god. All right.
I hope you all enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was
That's
fun.
great.
Yeah, I really enjoyed
The
that.
kind of sprawling, maze-like nature of this is, yeah.
Well, and not to, not really revealing too much spoilers, that hallway that you went through does turn to take you to different parts of that tier of the pyramid.
Right.
Right.
But you guys have then gone down further, deeper into the pyramid now. So you were at like this level, and then so you've gone down to this level now.
It's kind of terrifying. I felt it a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's some interesting stuff down here.
Yeah.
So,
I was trying to keep track, but I think I at least kind of have a sense of like where we came from in a flowcharty way. So
what I'll try to do is draw a map, John, and I'll send it to you, just so you can sort of sync up what your map with the one I sent you.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Okay. Sounds good.
Oh, and I should have been saying, I wasn't really saying it, but, Roland was probably marking the turns we took as we go. I kind of wanted to establish that he was doing that early.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
some people I played with would say you didn't say it, so it didn't happen. So I just wanted to mention that.
Well, you did mention you were doing that.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. If you would, yeah, right. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, you started doing that at that point.
Right.
So anything previously, no, but from that point forward, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Although now that he's drunk, he may forget.
That's true. Yeah. Probably from this point on, that does make sense. He probably stops doing that from this point on. Yeah.
We have like very clear markings from like that T down into here, and then it gets a little wobbly.
It gets a little weird.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Maybe Roland's, you close the door, but Roland's staying like, no, I need to write skeletons here.
Yeah.
Skeletons are trying to get out the door.
Well, I mean, Oh my god, sometimes if there's a certain kind of player, and I don't want to be this kind of player, but it is tempting when your character gets drunk for you to just be like, Roland's, he sees the skeletons and he's vomiting and going nuts, and I don't know, running off into the dark in
That
terror
mushroom.
or something.
That mushroom wine, man, it's not good.
Yeah,
I think it's all kind of appropriate, and I like kind of seeing what we do with it as opposed to I mean, so I appreciate these types of the twists you're doing, Sam. I like them.
Yeah.
So
okay, cool.
don't feel you need to worry about that.
Yeah. It's interesting, because I always think about this when I'm playing a game like this, where I don't feel like I know anything about like the play culture of it, because I I don't know, I've played D&D, but like I haven't really played D&D though. Like looking back at how I played D&D with people, it's like not really what even the book would tell you to do. So I am always a little bit like, is this like wrong to do? Because this is stuff I would do normally in any role playing game. Think about like,
Right.
my character would probably freak the fuck out, and how he would react. But yeah,
I think these guys have heard me say this before, and maybe you have too. I forget, but I find that if you, regardless of what role playing game we're playing, whether it's like OSR or old school or like a story game or whatever, if you role play your character, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's that's like I think you have the best time and the best experiences if we when you role play your character.
Right.